Welcome back. And I'm grateful that you're taking the time to spend this with me. Hopefully we'll learn together. I'm putting some ideas out there that will challenge you, hopefully help you make some choices, be in conversation with your colleagues, perhaps argue back with me, perhaps challenge me. But I'm always saying to my dear friends and students, I'm here to challenge you so that things will be clearer to you now. It's one of my favorite lines. Again, it's one of my signature statements. I oftentimes say to people, since we last met, since the last class we took together, what is clearer to you now? What do you have greater clarity on? Well, again, you see that I still use the signature ties, and so I changed my tie. Oftentimes people say, I oftentimes wonder when Stan comes to do some coaching or teaching for us, I wonder what colored tie he'll wear today. Again, it's a little bit of way that people kind of identify me. Also, I'm known for this, is I've always loved pens. I just do. And a few years ago, I decided that I was going to start making pens. So this is a pen that I made. It's a black ebony. I love it, beautiful wood. And then I actually made this. And what I do is part of my spare time is I love to get into the wood shop and actually on my lathe make pens for people. And then I give them away. It's been part of my signature. I give away beautiful, I think they're beautiful, handmade pens. One of my mentors told me this. He said, Stan, I want you to think about this. He said, the reason I am successful is I have been known to give simple gifts. It is simple gifting. Nothing extravagant, nothing that would try to ask the person to reciprocate, certainly nothing that could be thought of as a bribe or untoward, but just simply the practice of simple gifting. Again, let that sit on your head for a while and think about your signature style, and also a little bit about where you might be when it comes to how you need to be on that R scale. Where does your style, where does your personality, where does your spirit fit in how you deal with people that way? But that's something we can learn, rightly or wrongly, bad or good, from the Donald Trump deal. Now, as many of you know, he really made his name in a TV show called The Apprentice, where he told people if they didn't shape up, they were fired. Now I'm going to share this with you. I'm going to say this part of the Donald I truly like, because I believe it actually helped to bring about a whole new view of the power of mentoring. You know, in times past, we didn't say the way you learn business is by going to college or university or going to business school or going to getting a master's of business administration. The way a man or a woman became successful in business is they oftentimes were apprenticed. That they were brought in and a senior, a master craftsman, a master marketer, a master builder, a master manager would then take a young apprentice under his or her wing, and they would teach and guide them and challenge them and lead them. And unfortunately, it became that now we just think of an apprentice as somebody who deals with maybe some of the handiwork or the craftsman trades. And I think that's wonderful. I think everybody should be involved in that. We should all learn to make things from time to time. But what he did is he said, hey, the way you succeed in business is we actually will see if you will take it and if you are a good apprentice. And the idea was that at the very end of the deal, the one who had survived the apprenticeship, the one who had done the best in all of the challenges and tests, were actually given a position in the Trump company. the term apprentice became, in some cases, respectable. And I think it should be right back. I really believe that. I think we should re-engineer the whole idea that you learn best by going to some graduate school or some university or college and you learn things. No, in apprenticeship, you perform and you do things. And so, very strongly, this is what we can also learn. This is number 5. This is number 5. This is important. That's why I say it. Hey, right in the middle, find a way that you can be mentored and apprenticed. Find mentors. Find teachers. Oftentimes you will hear that successful people will talk about the people who mentored them, who apprenticed them, who taught them. Now, one of the strong mentors in my life was a man who taught me a great deal. He was the manager of the local J.C. Penney company store where I grew up. And he himself, this kind of dates me, had been mentored somewhat by James Penney himself. Fundamental. If you want to be successful, seek and be a mentor to a mentoree or an apprentice. If you want to be successful, seek an apprenticeship. I'm not talking about a college intern. I'm saying something far more profound, where you are, in effect, mentored and apprenticed by somebody who knows how it needs to be done. They could be ruthless. You will oftentimes be in a situation where you know, I wonder how this is going to work out. I myself have been involved with some of the men and women who have built incredible businesses because I've come alongside of them and helped apprentice and mentor their young reports and young charges. And many of those young people are now extremely successful because they went through some rigorous teaching and training in their mentorship or their apprenticeship. Fundamental, number 5, right in the middle, is apprenticeship, mentorship. Being one, doing one, becoming one is vital to success in business today. And related to that, what it turns out is that the apprenticeship was actually just an extended interview. And so here's number 6. Seek to audition. Now, I'm teaching people now that you shouldn't interview people. They want a position, they want a job, they have an interview. You will find in one of my classes where I teach you is don't interview, audition people. Don't just have them come all dressed up, sitting neatly in front of you, and then you ask them questions and they answer questions, and then you ask them if they have any questions. That's an interview. Not much really gets done. What if today we would say, no, we're going to audition you. And so, every day, for the next week, you're going to come and you are going to audition for the position. In fact, we're not going to ask you any questions at all the first time there. What's going to happen is we're going to tell you what the job is, and then you're going to make a presentation where you demonstrate to us that you can do the job. Anybody can get good at answering questions. And of course, there are scads of courses. I did a Google Bing search on how to handle an interview, and there are thousands and millions of tips and coaches out there on how to write a resume. And of course, I say throw away your resume. They're teaching you also how to interview. In business today, it's not the interview. It's the audition. We do more and more auditioning of people, and those of us will ask for the opportunity to audition. Just a quick story. One time a young woman said to me, she said, "Stan, can you help me? I'm competing for a job." And she was quite young. She didn't have a lot of experience. But she said, "This receptionist job, I know I can do it, and I'd love it, and it'd be a good start, and I'll learn a lot there. But I do know that two of the other people who are competing against me are much more experienced. They're older, they lost their job, or they're coming back into the workforce, and I don't have anywhere near the experience, and I don't think I'm going to get the job." She said, "What do you think I should do?" And I said, "Do you know anything about the situation? What's going on now?" He says, "Well, he's got this temp worker there who's doing the work until he makes this hire." Here's what I said to her. "Why don't you call him up and say, be forthright. I know that you think I'm not very experienced, and obviously other people are far more experienced at the job than I am. But I know right now you are paying a temp worker to do this. What I'd be willing to do, I would be willing to be your temp worker without pay for the next 2 weeks, just for you to see if I could do it. No obligation. I just want to kind of," and then she used the word I had taught. She said, "I just kind of like to audition. I'd like for you to see me perform. I want you to see how I do things. And then that might help you make a decision." Well, that was an attractive offer. He gets a temp worker for free for at least 2 weeks, and he gets a chance to delay that expense before he has to make a hiring decision. Well, you know what happened, because this is why I'm telling you the story. She did a great job, and she got the job. She auditioned and was chosen for the role she wanted to play, and it has led to further and greater and much happier career success. So there we go. Lesson 5 and 6 that we can learn from the Donald Trump deal. We learn the importance of apprenticeship and mentorship. We learn the importance of performing, auditioning to demonstrate how good we are to those people we want to work with and work for. Just think about that, and as I oftentimes say, it's again one of my signature statements, just kind of let that sit on your head for a while.